Hello everyone, CB3 here with another live update for Sunday, July 21st. It's a crazy time in America. Joe Biden resigning from the race for president, yet remaining president until the end of his term. What does that mean for the markets? He designated his endorsement for Kamala Harris. What does that mean for the market? How are the overseas markets reacting to this? That and much more. CB3 Live begins right now. Early this afternoon, Joe Biden announced he will not run for president in 2024, meaning the election on November 5th will be between Donald Trump and someone as yet to be determined either in the next few days or more than likely at a contested convention in Chicago beginning on August 20th. Going to be a crazy time. We're going to be watching it and seeing how the market reacts to this. So Biden's withdrawal is reminiscent of Lyndon Johnson's decision not to seek re-election in 1968. However, that resignation by Johnson was in March. This is in almost late July. What is this going to mean for the Democrats? And what's this going to mean for how the markets react? Of course, that's what I do for a living. I manage your money. So you can get other sources if you want to know what the political or social implications are of this. As far as the markets, they're opening stronger overnight in the S&P and especially the NASDAQ, probably in the anticipation that this is leaning even more so in favor of the GOP, claiming the White House and possibly Congress as well. We'll see how that works, but overall, it's just been the most volatile time in a presidential cycle since I remember tracking this. For the market, the key things that I'm watching are going to be earnings reports this coming week with ASML, TSM, which we just added, and Netflix, stock that we don't hold right now, but we're watching it to see if this is something we want to add. So key economic releases, US GDP, Michigan consumer sentiment. There's just a lot of things going on for a normally quiet time of the year. So in technology, analysts are maintaining a cautious stance on tech stocks. I am too. I know that we had a really ugly sell-off the last few days of this last week. Had a few people comment on this, but I just got to tell you, we have had such a strong run this year. We're going to have these kinds of pullbacks because the bears will sense when the least bit of timidity shows up from buyers, they're going to come in full force. So for the market to see a 1.5%, 2%, even 3% down day is not going to surprise me, just based on the strength that we've seen so far. What I did see that I liked, and we do trade the Russell index, the futures on that. The Russell finally took out the resistance at the top, and the Russell 2000, which is small caps, at a fresh 2.5-year high this past week. That is encouraging, indicating strength for smaller companies. And as you know, in CG, we do have some small cap stocks in there, and we want to see those particular stocks thrive, obviously. So AI stocks took it on the chin. DS had a rough week. CG continuing to be strong versus the S&P 500. DS and GI struggling this last week. Not a concern really. Again, for the most part, they've been performing better than the S&P most of the year, so they're due for a pullback as well. As far as valuations, the S&P 500's forward PE ratio is about 23, which is pretty high. It's stretched based on historic norms. And this rally really has been driven by a handful of mega cap stocks, which, as you know, I just take the position that I'm going to invest in those stocks, but I do want to see the rest of the market join in on that. And we did see that with the Russell 2000 hitting a 2.5-year high. So in short, what does this mean? It just means business as usual, folks. I'm watching it for you. We ended the week with CG about 12% in cash. I may add positions on Monday morning. I may wait till Tuesday. We really need to see how this shakes out. The Democrats are definitely adding to the interest, I'll call it that way, in the summer months here. So We'll see how that goes. You guys have any questions, you know where to reach me, CB3 at CB3.com. This has been a CB3 Live update. Check with us midweek. I'll continue to put what I'm calling evergreen material out there for you guys to munch on as well. The next show will be August 8th for the Thursday night hourly show. Until then, send me your questions and comments, and we'll get back to you next time soon.